We want to look at properties of the IS curve. We want to start off by talking about the slope of the IS curve, where we want to look at why is the IS curve downward sloping. So this relates back to how we graphically derive the IS curve. So here as interest rate increases, we know investment goes down because the way we modeled investment is that it's a positive function of Y and negative function of interest rate. And we looked at the economic intuition behind this negative relationship between interest rate and investment, where we said investment depends negatively on interest rate, as you can either think about the interest rate as the cost of borrowing, or you can think about the interest rate as the opportunity cost of buying, of opportunity cost of investment. So regardless of how you think about the interest rate as the cost of borrowing or as the opportunity cost of investment, in either way, there's an inverse relationship between interest rate and investment. So as interest rate increases, investment goes down in the economic intuition we discussed earlier. Now, the decrease in investment will decrease demand because investment is one of the components of demand. Graphically, the demand schedule shifts down in the goods market model. So we did this when you were looking at the graphical derivation, where we saw that as interest rate increases, like you saw, investment goes down, and this causes the demand schedule to shift down, right? As demand decreases for any given level of I. So the demand schedule shifts down as investment is one of the components of demand. So this is exactly what we saw when we were looking at the graphically deriving the IS curves. That investment decreases, demand decreases, so the graphically the demand schedule shifts down. Now, as a result of this, Y decreases through the multiplier effect to restore goods market equilibrium. Like we saw here, that initially equilibrium was at Y1, but now when demand went down, now the new equilibrium output is at Y2 at the intersection of the 45-degree line and the new demand schedule. So we saw the IS goes downward sloping because as interest rate increases, investment goes down. And as a result of this, demand decreases. So graphically, the demand schedule shifts down in the goods market model. And as a result of this, Y decreases through the multiplier effect to restore equilibrium in the goods market. And goods market equilibrium implies that if interest rate increases, output falls to restore goods market equilibrium, and hence we have a downward sloping IS curve, because whenever interest rate rises, output has to fall to restore goods market equilibrium. Similarly, whenever interest rate falls, output has to rise to restore goods market equilibrium.